Hello, this is Workbench, episode number 20. I'm Seth Werkheiser, along with Bill Meese, two people who work in music and love technology, sharing our nerdy knowledge to help make your work easier and more manageable. Hello, Bill.
Good evening, sir.
Woo-wee.
So, what I was just telling Seth was that I listened on a recent podcast episode about podcasts, Inception.
Yes.
That you should never record a podcast on Wi-Fi.
And both Bill and I had a hearty laugh.
Yeah, because all 20 episodes we've recorded, or 19 and 1/16 so far, has been entirely on Wi-Fi. So,
Oh, yes.
Ha-ha.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't matter what kind of mic you have or what kind of equipment you have. Yeah, if you're internet. But we record double enders, so I think the quality's fine.
I'm not entirely sure that everyone in the audience knows what a double ender means. I'm sure
Probably not.
I'm sure people have their own idea, but
Yes.
why don't you clean their dirty minds?
A double ender means, and it's an old radio term, it's when an interview would take place at two different locations and someone would record their own part in a studio. And if they were interviewing, say, someone in California, someone in California would go into the studio and talk to the interviewer on a phone, but they would record the audio there in California. And then they would send that audio to, say, the New York City office. They would edit them together, and that's what Bill and I do each week.
Right, though neither of us are in California.
No. Whew, thank goodness.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Thank you. Had a bit of a rough day internet-wise. Had a rough day interneting, yeah.
The Internet of Things wasn't in your favor?
So, yeah, some technical behind-the-scenes, the nitty-gritty DNS domain name stuff, and yeah, it's just, ugh.
Is that the acronym, domain name stuff?
I didn't even mean that, but yes, that's exactly what I mean. No, domain node, I don't know what it means. DNS.
Yeah, do not
mess with.
Yeah, do not mess with. The S stands for mess with.
And then there's so much stuff at that domain level that if one thing is wrong, it just messes up so much. And it can be sometimes hard. And then my internet was slow. Speaking of Wi-Fi, my internet was slow. So every time I would try to click between like an administration screen, it would take forever, which just makes everything feel worse.
Was that a sun flare raining upon Stroudsburg, PA or something?
On my head, yes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully your weekend was better, was it?
Weekend was good, nice and quiet, way I like it.
I had a plethora of toddlers trotting around my backyard.
Oh.
It was my son's birthday party and birthday on Friday, so family in town, kids over for cake. Man, kids love cake.
Seth
really
loves
do.
cake.
Seth loves cake, but kids really love cake. Like, you give them a piece and then they want another one immediately.
Yeah. I feel that.
I haven't gotten to the point where I've given them two pieces, but I would imagine they'd want a third. But anyway. But yeah, lots of dad stuff, cleaning.
Cool.
Barbecuing, cutting of the grass.
Yeah.
Real riveting stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like dad stuff. Well, I mean, for me, it was writing metal trivia, cleaning up Trello. You know what? I played around with Things this weekend.
Really?
The app Things? Yeah.
I feel like you're cheating on me.
Yeah. I kicked it to the curb.
Yeah, I use Things a lot, and Things is at the time, it was Apple's answer to OmniFocus.
Was it?
At the time, yeah, but I think OmniFocus has just shot up big time since then. And I don't know anyone who uses Things, but I did try it back in the day, and I think I lasted a few days.
Right.
But OmniFocus, I've lasted well over a year.
Yeah.
Still using it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a holding pattern between Evernote and Trello. Like, I love and adore both of them, but I really feel, and I know OmniFocus is the answer, but I mean, Trello is great for that day-to-day stuff, because I'm in it every single day. I look at it every day. It's great. It's right there. Evernote, great. Yes, archive of information for clients, for my work, this and that. But yeah, I need something in between.
Well, the trifecta is Trello, OmniFocus, and Slack, in my opinion.
Yeah, but see, I don't work with a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess. If you're not working with a team, it's tough.
But like, they're never. No one's gonna buy into Slack. I should try.
Just disgusted with it.
Whatever. No, you're right. I love Slack. I haven't been using it for Skull Toaster in many months now. But yeah, I mean, to use it for freelance work, to get clients on board with it, like that's a tough sell.
I have to say, Slack has been freely adopted amongst my coworkers, and I'm pretty proud of that because it took a while. It was a lot of salesmanship on my end, but it's nice to see something kind of taken off and me not having to hold anybody's hand. It's been kind of cool, but
you're an inspiration to us all, Bill.
I appreciate that. But
absolutely.
But yeah, back to the trifecta though. If you're working with a team, OmniFocus is great for single user task management.
Yeah, that's me.
It's the best out there in my opinion. Slack for team communication, and Trello for team project management.
Yeah, I like
which
that.
We've covered many times over in the past few episodes, so I won't go into it here. But you did get a piece of feedback today that I wanted to publicly thank them for.
Wow,
yes.
Talk
about that?
Totally. In the process of uploading all our previous episodes to YouTube, which we will continue to do, all our episodes are on YouTube. Part of that was we had an episode where we talked about 1Password by the company Agile Bits. And
love those guys.
Yeah, and in doing so, I don't even remember. I don't even think we tweeted a link to the YouTube video or the episode. But I got a note from Agile Bits today from YouTube saying, "Hey, thanks for talking about 1Password." Which I think is amazing.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and we'll continue to talk about it because it's the best password manager out there by far.
Oh my goodness!
And they are not even a sponsor. We're saying that because we use it.
Yes, I love it so much. I have a few different Gmail, Google accounts to switch between the Workbench for YouTube, for other clients, Gmail accounts or Google accounts, like whether for analytics or AdWords. Docs, and having to log out of different accounts and log into different Gmail accounts all the time. I'm between 4 at least every day, and if I had to sit there and type out or remember a good password each time, no way. But with 1Password, boom, it's in.
Yeah,
Love
totally.
It.
So with that said, I guess we're talking about photo management.
We are. This subject's come up a few times, so
it has, and I'll preface it with that. I feel like this topic has been beaten to death by other podcasts and just the tech community in general.
Yes,
but it's one that affects everybody all day long, and it also is ever changing. And coincidentally, we decided to do this topic just as Google was announcing Google Photos. Which was not on purpose. We didn't do that intentionally.
No.
So I've had just about 24 hours to play with it and figure it out, and I gotta say it's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. There's a few pros, a few cons. The pros are, it's entirely mobile. That should go without saying, but it's Google Plus Photos, but without the Google Plus.
I've heard that. It kind of feels like it's been taken away from that, from the whole G Plus thing.
Yeah, which I think is a really smart move because I don't think Google Plus was taking off at all.
No.
Not to say nobody uses it. I know plenty of people who have pretty robust communities in there, but I'm not a part of any of them.
Right.
But they were smart. They took the best part of one of their products and showcased that and trimmed the fat and focused on the product that was working, which then became Google Photos.
Yeah, a whole new service, yeah.
But a couple...
Which is funny because, I mean, Google's had kind of a version of photos, like, since Picasa back in the day.
Yeah, and I don't know if Picasa still exists, does it?
No, I think it's rolled into this. I can't say for certain, but, like, I remember that being a Google product that I've used at one point.
Right. But a couple of mainstays have been writing about it, like Business Insider and Lifehacker, which we'll put in the show notes. But I'll just run down the features real quick. The biggest thing is that it's unlimited storage for free.
That's bonkers.
But it comes with a caveat, though, because it's not... And, that's what kind of sucked me in. I was like, free storage forever, awesome. And then I downloaded it, and as soon as I clicked yes to upload my library...
Oh, boy.
It informed me that the unlimited storage portion is only for low-res versions of your photos. And if you wanted full-res versions of your photos, then it will eat away at your Google Drive storage allotment.
Which is, what, 15 gigabytes, right?
I think so. I have more than that because I don't know why. I feel like I've been using Google Drive for so long that I have so many gigs. I'm only using, like, 5% or whatever.
Weird, okay.
Which, I thought about it. I was like, I could totally, do full version, but I already have my own backup system in place, which I can go into.
Right.
But I guess just for the ease of use and, having a secondary backup system, for my photos, I just picked the low-res versions just to kind of go with the flow.
Sure.
But that's not even one of the main features. One of the biggest features is that Google, in their creepy algorithm ways, categorizes your photos for you. So if you have, a whole bunch of photos that are taken in a certain location, or a whole bunch of photos of a certain person, or a whole bunch of photos that are labeled as a certain event, it will sort them out that way, or you can search for them in that way.
Wow.
Like, I just uploaded my whole iPhone library, and I tested it out, and of course, my son's face was the first one that came up, like, all pictures of, of my son, and then there's all pictures of my wife, and, other people that are in my photo library. So that's kind of cool. And you can also make your own libraries, like creations, or search by video. It basically just applies its own tag system.
Okay. That
you can search by, which is kind of cool.
Neat.
But there's also a feature called auto stylize. It basically applies it applies filters to certain photos that Google thinks will look awesome.
Wow. And
it's actually not that bad, because I have a photo from Disney World. Maybe I'll even put it in the show notes, that I took, and I applied an Instagram filter to and posted on Instagram, and it looked awesome.
Sure.
But the one that they suggested actually looks better.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of cool, but I guess that could be a little annoying if they went a little crazy.
Right.
Don't ask me how they do that, but... So yeah, that's my 24-hour review.
And you say, like, because it's tied in with your camera, so when you take photos, it automatically uploads to Google?
Not as you take photos, but as you open the app. So if you take 100 photos in a day without opening the app, it won't automatically upload those 100 photos. But when you open up the app, it will start uploading those photos, and then you can kind of manually tap and deselect which ones you don't want to upload. Like, anyone who takes screenshots on their iPhone knows what I'm talking about. Is you don't want to save those forever, obviously.
Actually, some of that I have a little story about that, but go ahead. Yeah,
but you know what I mean. Some of them, like, some of them you don't want to, most of them you don't want to do that.
Correct.
So that's Google Photos. And
neat.
Here's my opinion, though. It's like, I don't need it. I have my own system that I use, which is probably a little more nerdy than most people.
Yeah.
But for people like my wife and other family members that have very little storage discipline, I think it would be really helpful, because I think we talked about this before. Like, I'm always the one that has to go in and clean out my wife's phone. It's like, hey, you have, 13 gigs of photos on here. We should probably do something about this. And these photos are dating back to 2001. Not really, but you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you obviously have no system in place, and you can't download, the latest Twitter app update because you have, 3,000 photos on here. So that's kind of why we're doing the episode, because there's a lot of little, basic tricks you can do to, prevent that from happening.
Right.
But what was your story?
No, I mean, not so much a story, but it's interesting of screenshots that to look back at some of them that you took back in 2010 and 2011. Like, why the heck did I screenshot that? Or to see that there's screenshots of like tweets or something, but from a whole different Twitter, like looks completely different.
Yeah.
I don't know, just stuff like that. To see what a person's avatar was on Twitter like a couple years ago. That kind of stuff.
But the whole photo, there's two underlying concepts and schools of thought to the whole photo topic, and I'll go into one of them. First it's the race to zero, and I'm sure people have heard that term before because bloggers have been using it as clickbait headlines for the past year or two. But essentially what that is that all the big players, whether it's Google, Apple, or Amazon or Microsoft, they're all Dropbox. Yeah, they're all racing to zero, which in this case is cost-free storage, cloud storage. And it's kind of an oxymoron or a contradictory concept, because these are all for-profit companies that are racing to zero profit. And I guess if it's part of a larger company like Amazon or Microsoft, like obviously your revenue streams are coming from different places, but for companies like Dropbox, there's no incentive to go to zero, right? Which is why I don't know
until you fill up your space.
Well, no, the whole point of zero is unlimited cost-free storage.
Oh, right.
Not
to
even
gain users, yeah.
Yeah, not even up to 2 petabytes or whatever. It's free storage forever.
Right.
And that's where it's headed, with Moore's law compounding every year. That's what's going to happen. I forgot what I was going to say. But companies like Dropbox, I don't know if you read in the past couple of weeks, but they're focusing the large part of their attention on enterprise clients.
Okay.
Because that's probably where the more long-term revenue stream will be for them.
Sure. Because
for guys like you and me that have free storage, forever, that's easy for them. They could do that now, and we do that now. I don't purchase the storage, but
I almost did, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but for enterprise clients, like the incentive for them to spend money on it, especially with security in mind, is greater. So I think that's like where companies like Dropbox are really focusing their attention, because that's where they're going to make the most money. But so that's the first concept, and the other concept is kind of a paradox in that we're creating these devices that can take thousands and thousands and thousands of photos, and we're kind of butting up against our own ceiling with it.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And it's we have this technology that's making it easier to take photos and video, but with a means to store it that's not necessarily as quick and easy as capturing it.
Right. I mean that's what I've been struggling with since about 2011. I with my bike travels, and then like my laptop, the hard drive was going. So I uploaded a whole bunch to Amazon and a whole bunch to Google Drive or whatever it was called back then. And so now I had all these photos there, but I was still taking photos, so I had to put them somewhere. So then I uploaded them to Dropbox. And now all of a sudden, I have a newer laptop now, thank goodness. Still have a ton of photos. And Dropbox is filling up. I almost, spent the money to update Dropbox, because Dropbox has, you were just talking about Google Photos, Carousel is Dropbox kind of photo thing.
Yeah, it's their photo app. I'll actually go into that because that's part of my workflow.
Oh, okay. And I would open that and it would upload to Dropbox, and I would get warnings from Dropbox. I'm getting too close to my thing. So finally, I kind of had to bite the bullet. My laptop hard drive is only 128 gigabytes because it's a MacBook Air. So I finally bought an external hard drive, which I'm looking at right now. And so now I'm in the process of pulling down all my photos, finally, putting them on there. And then we'll get into it later, though. But like to where I'm going to back that up or sync that to. But it's all a crazy mismatch of technologies and storage and filing and me getting back into, because these were all uploaded as individual files and there's no organization to them whatsoever. And now to use like Apple's new Photos app.
Yeah, I was just about to say that you were diving into that, right?
Yeah.
And you're having a good experience.
I am, yeah. I'm doing it piece by piece. I've learned my lesson over the years, like, oh, here's a folder of 8,000 photos. Let me just drag and drop. No, I don't do that. I'll do a little folder at a time. Here's 1,000. Let me see what happens. But no, for the most part, it's been great. It's weird because, like I said, I put these all up in folders, kind of organized by date. This one's 2013. This one's 2011. But then somehow all the metadata is there that I put it into photos, and it's like, oh, this was taken in Louisville, Kentucky in 2011. Like, oh my goodness, yes, totally. Like, I'm really excited by it.
Yeah, and that's the extra bit of info that's going to make photo management much easier.
Yeah.
And once facial recognition gets even better, which it is, like Google Photos is trying to do, that you can not only sort by date and location, but you can sort by who's in the picture.
Sure. Yeah,
this really creepy, honestly.
Yeah, this new Apple Photos has that.
They do.
Yeah, it lets you find faces. It's not great at it, I don't think.
Well, yeah, like I said, once it gets better.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know if I figured Google's was probably pretty good, but
yeah. But you mentioned carousel, so I'll jump into that.
Do it.
I feel like I've mentioned this before, but maybe it's just because I've told my wife this so many times. But Carousel is made by Dropbox. It's an app that lives on your phone, obviously. And what it does is it can automatically upload your camera roll to Dropbox. Although I don't have the automatic upload enabled. But I have an OmniFocus task set up once a week to go in and clean out my carousel. So I open up Carousel and it immediately starts uploading the photos to Dropbox, and then I'll go in and I'll tap the ones that I don't want. Similar in the way that Google Photos works, which is why I'm not so inclined to do it twice, because I have a pretty good system set up with Carousel. But I'll go in there and I'll swipe the ones that I don't like. It's keep the ones that I do, and then they're in my Dropbox. And then I have another OmniFocus task set up once a month to take my Dropbox photo backup, which is what Carousel does, and put and upload that to my WD, I think it's called My Cloud.
Yeah,
which is an external 3 terabyte.
It's a biggie, yeah.
Drive I have in my house.
Yep.
So over the course of a month, I'm uploading my camera roll, thus keeping more free space on my phone.
Sure.
So as long as you get into a groove and do that consistently, you'll never run into storage problems.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would remember every now and again to open Carousel when I was on Wi-Fi, upload all my photos, but then I would forget to take the photos off of my phone. I would forget to erase them.
Yeah, that's kind of the critical point.
Yes.
Is to, now that you have them backed up twice, essentially.
Right.
You don't need to keep them on your phone. And if you end up putting them on a hard drive or a cloud or even like a Backblaze or something like that, that's still something you can use. You can delete them everywhere else, and that's the best way to free up free space.
Yes.
So So you use Amazon, you said?
I have not.
I haven't used that either.
The Amazon, what their big selling point is, and what Amazon pushes all the time is Prime. Prime is the, pay $99 and you get, the free 2-day shipping on every order.
Very familiar with that.
That, and you could stream movies and TV shows and music.
Especially diapers.
Yes. And their photo thing is unlimited photos, storage from your phone. They have an iOS app. They have smartphone apps for all of them. And it allows you then, when you're taking photos, you get back to Wi-Fi. Same thing that we talked about here with all these others, but, it uploads and it's unlimited storage. I don't know the fine print, if it's like you said, if it's just low-res photos that sync between the two, but, there's an option. It's unlimited photos. Do you have if you're a Prime member?
Yeah, which you should be. Honestly, it's one of the best things you can get.
Yeah.
Do you have a DSLR camera?
No.
See, we do, and we barely use it, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. We have this big expensive camera that we got when our first kid was born, and we don't use it nearly as much as we should or want to.
Right.
And I feel like we got it around the time where, I don't know. I'm curious if DSLRs automatically upload, like if you took, even if it was stored locally on the card on the camera,
right?
And then once you got close to your computer, it would automatically upload to your computer or your phone. You know what I mean?
I think they make a Wi-Fi enabled card.
I'm not sure if that's ubiquitous.
Right? No. But I know there's some of those point and shoots that almost act like phones or within Wi-Fi. They're like smartphones on the back, kind of, but they're a real point and shoot camera.
Yeah, especially if they're all on the same network. I'm sure it works easier that way. But I just feel like because honestly, the process of taking the card out of the camera, finding that little dingle thing that you have to plug into your USB port.
Yep.
And then sitting there and uploading it, like that's so many steps, and way more steps than we're used to at this point.
Yeah, totally.
And I feel like that prevents us from using it as often as we should. And
right, the casual, amateur, hobbyist DSLR photographer.
Yeah, and especially since we all have some of the most popular and best phones in our pocket these days.
Right.
With the iPhone, whether it's the
iPhone.
The
old adage, the best phone is the one you have with... Yeah, best phone. The best camera is the one you have with you.
Yeah, usually the best phone that you have is the one... See, I just screwed that up too. But that also works for scanners. Like, what's the best scanner? Like the one that you have. The one that's on you. I know that's like the line that a lot of the scanning apps use.
Scanning apps?
Yeah, that's a whole separate episode.
You mean the ones that you zap stuff at like Walmart and see if you can get a better price on Amazon?
No. Those are barcode apps. I'm talking about scanning apps. Like I know Evernote makes one. There's one called Genius Plus, which I use.
Man, I just thought you were talking about like police scanner apps.
Oh wow, we've gone off the reservation. Sorry, folks.
Oh my goodness, I needed this tonight.
Yeah, but yeah, man, that's kind of my take on photo apps. I feel like Apple Photos is going to change a few things. Google Photos might do the same thing.
Well, I'm excited. I'm still not out of the woods yet with this Apple Photos thing with the iCloud integration.
You're just losing it tonight.
Yeah, I am. I have no beverage in front of me. There's
we should take a minute and play like elevator music or something. Get you back on track.
But I'm excited, like, once I get all my photos managed into Photos, the app, then to sync them to iCloud, so then I could see all my photos on my iPhone. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
You're not wrong.
I'm probably going to have to upgrade my iCloud storage, but I think their 20 gigabytes is $3.99 a month.
Yeah, now, and then 4 years from now it'll be free. Watch.
Right? Yeah. So that should be interesting. I'm not. One thing I like about, and that's an interesting thing too about all of these, and I think is important. I know iCloud does. I'm sure Google does. I'm not sure about Amazon. Dropbox does it with Carousel. But the ability to share photos on the web.
Oh, yeah. I totally left that out about Carousel. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry, but I want to get this out before I forget it.
Yeah, do it.
When you upload, I'll just use a very literal example. We went to Disney World a couple months ago.
Sure.
And I took 1 billion photos when I was there.
Of course.
And at the end of the day, all the relatives and the families like, send me photos. I want your photos. Everyone was clamoring for photos. And Carousel gives you an option to select as many, as long as you uploaded it and it's all backed up to Dropbox. All you have to do is select the photos that you want to share, click share. It will generate its own separate link for the photos that you've selected, and you can then put that into an email, a message, you name it. You copy and paste it anywhere. And then it takes, you click the link and it takes the person to a little gallery of only the photos that you selected.
Yep. And
then they can download them from there, share them from there. It's actually one of the best features, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. That whole idea of being able to share, because years ago, I got on. I think it was 2004. I got onto Flickr, and I still have a crap ton of photos on there. But over the years, especially once they got bought by Yahoo, I just felt the service went to crap, and I stopped using it. But I love the idea of that I could have these galleries, these sets online, and be able to send those links back and forth to people, especially too because that kind of stuff. I hate the idea that anything is like a walled garden. Like, oh, where's your photos? Oh, they're on Facebook. Well, I'm not on Facebook, so sometimes that doesn't work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I don't know what other social media network you would say with that. Google Plus? No, I guess they're still. But
Tumblr.
The idea that where you store your photos, this online cloud kind of thing, and that it generates a web-based place for you to send. For me, I'm thinking about my parents. Like, I travel, I do this, I do that. Hey, Mom, here's where I've been. And just shoot the link over.
I have a very tumultuous relationship with Flickr.
Okay.
And that I've been using Flickr, since the early days, like you.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've changed their pricing tier a few times over the past decade or so.
Yeah.
And I remember last time I paid for Flickr, it was like $20 a year.
Yeah.
I hope it's cheaper now. But I paid for the year and uploaded every photo I ever took.
Yeah.
And after the year was up, I just didn't feel like re-upping. I didn't feel like paying for it again. And they, took my account back to basic.
Yeah.
Thus holding all of my photos hostage.
Yep.
So now, you can have them, man. I'm not going to see them again.
No, I'm on a mission to get mine. I'd probably have to pay. And I believe, too, that there's not like a mass export with Flickr, which is atrocious.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. But I just don't feel like that's right. Like, I have, years of photos on there that
right.
I can't even get to unless I pay them to get it.
Right. I will say this with Amazon Photos. I think it was Amazon Cloud Drive. I uploaded all my photos to Amazon Cloud Drive. To get them back, I think I had to... They love it. They love it when you put them on there. They love... Yeah, upload your photos. Super easy. Click here. Awesome. To get them off is usually a different story. Whereas with Google Drive, they're mapped to your Finder window. It's easy. You just drag the folder to your desktop. They're on your desktop now.
Right.
Whereas, same with Dropbox. But the Amazon, oh, no. I think I had to... I think I had to like manually select photos one at a time to download them.
Right.
There was no like download all my photos. No, I had to like select. I think it was like a few thousand times.
That's crazy.
I'm not happy about that.
Well, hopefully these new services that these mega companies are putting out will be a solution to most of these.
Perhaps. And I got to say, too, you were saying you were at Disney, you took a bazillion photos. I ran into a friend of mine here in town. He took a 2-week trip to Europe with some of his family. It was funny us talking about then the photos afterwards. I was like, oh, take 1 million photos? He's like, nah, man. He's like, the photos, he's an older dude. He was the old dude at hardcore shows back when I was the young kid at hardcore shows.
Oh, it's like back when the railroad was being built?
No, but I mean, like, I was the young kid and like, oh my God, look at that old guy here. Now I'm the old guy and he's just the little older guy. It all changes after 30. But I said to him, you take 1 million photos? No, man. He's like, the photos I like are the photos with people in them. You stand here, I'll take a photo. He's like, I took, probably 300. He was in Europe for 2 weeks, took only like a few hundred. He said his cousins or whatever, they were snapping thousands. Every 5 feet, they would just stop, snap. Like, and I think that's what we've become, or it's easy to do that with photos. I have photos from the Midwest, from Norway, from all my travels. What the heck was I taking that photo? But I took it because I could.
Yeah, I feel like it speaks to a larger issue that, not only of just capturing the moment, but instantly sharing it. Like,
yeah,
we as a people, as mankind, are experiencing things less and less by ourselves.
Right.
And in solitude, because, I don't know, I think people get such a shot of dopamine every time they see that red number 1 on the notifications globe on Facebook.
Sure.
Or on Instagram or on Twitter.
Yep, some hearts on Tumblr. Yeah.
Yeah, they just want to share every possible moment. And I'll tell a quick story. I was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony last year. And I was with the artist I was working with, and we were done, with a few hours left in the show. So me, I had everything I needed to get done was done. I had free time until the end of the show. I was staying overnight in Brooklyn that night, and it was I had free time anyway. So Nirvana, quote unquote, was performing with Joan Jett, and I was pretty close to the front of the stage, and I was a huge Nirvana fan growing up, as most people my age group are.
Heck yeah.
or were, and they started playing all these songs that were just bringing back crazy memories. And I look over, and it was Bill Murray dancing with Dan Aykroyd.
What?
And my first reaction was like, oh my God, I got to take a picture of this. But then I actually stopped myself, and I thought to myself, I'm sitting here watching the closest thing to Nirvana as I'll ever see.
Right.
With 2 dancing Ghostbusters 10 feet from my vision.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? No, this is mine. This is going to be my experience that I'm not going to share with anybody. I'm not even going to take a photo.
Right.
This is mine to remember forever.
Right. But holy crap, makes a great story. I've never heard that story.
Yeah, and I remember it as vividly as yesterday.
I bet. Oh.
But ever since then, I've these days you have to go out of your way to think like that. It doesn't come. It's not the first thing that pops in your head, as it wasn't the first thing that popped in my head that night.
Sure.
But I feel like you experience life a little bit better if you do that a little more often.
Well, how different. My sister, she asked, forget what she took like a gajillion photos of her, obviously her first child, second, this and that. And she asked my mom, like, well, where are all the photos of me and my sister? And, our parents had film cameras growing up. There are a finite number of photos of me and you growing up.
Yeah.
They're like prints or negatives somewhere.
It's probably in the hundreds.
Exactly.
And I kind of know where you're going with this, so I'm sorry to steal it. But with my kids, there's going to be thousands.
Yes, there are. Each year.
Yeah.
Between you and your wife. You're going to need to get a petabyte storage solution by the time he's 10.
Yeah, and by the time he's 10, I'm sure it'll be the thumb drive by then. But,
yeah. Well, hopefully by then we won't be lugging around USB drives or thumb this and that. Or
no, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be ubiquitous cloud storage that will cost nothing.
Right.
I really think that's where it's going. Even though it still costs a lot of money for data centers to operate, which is something that Apple and Microsoft, I'm sure, will figure out.
Well, Apple keeps selling products at enormous profits, so I think they're okay.
This is true.
I think they're all right.
This is true. But yeah, I think that's our show, man.
Good stuff, dude.
Visit us at workbenchpodcast.com for links to everything we've talked about and so much more.
And if you're subscribed on iTunes, give us a review. That'd help a lot. We are also on YouTube. A link will be in the show notes.
And for questions and comments, you can find either of us on Twitter. I am at Bill Meese, and Seth is at Seth W. Or email us at hello@workbenchpodcast.com.
That's it.
Hey, Seth.
Yo.
Later, dude.
Bye, Bill.